इसको अनम्यूट करना और स्टार्ट बट हाँ बेटा तुम दोनों आ जाओ एक सेकंड ठीक है मैडम हाँ क्या इनको करते रहिए तुम बोलो प्लीज स्टार्ट
Very good afternoon to the chairperson and all the delegates present here. Myself, Nimrat. I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this prestigious research conference. We are honored to have such a distinguished gathering of academicians, researchers, and industry professionals with us today. It is with great pleasure that we welcome our esteemed session chairperson, Dr. Rohit Singh Thomas, sir, whose invaluable contribution to the field have been a guiding light for many. Your presence here today is a testament to our unwavering dedication to the advancement of knowledge and research. To all our academic research scholars and distinguished guests, thank you for taking the time to join us. Your participation is crucial to the success of this conference as we come together to exchange ideas, present research, and foster collaboration that will drive innovation and growth. Our theme for this conference is VIKSIT Bharat, Role of Indian Business, aims to explore and discuss the multifaceted dimension of a developed India. We believe that through our collective efforts and insight, we can pave the way for a brighter and more prosperous future. So now I'm going to shed some light on the achievement of Dr. Rohit Singh Thomas, sir. Sir has PhD in management, MBA in marketing, and UGC NET qualified academician. Sir has 20 years of experience in teaching, research, and administration. Within this duration, Sir worked with ITM University, University of Greenwich, UK under UKIERI scheme, GLA University, Symbiosis International University, and Amity University. Sir has 28 publications in refereed journal, Scopus, WOS, others of national and international repute. Sir has conducted workshops, organized conferences, and provided training services. Worked as managing editor of Amity Journal of Management. Sir is also an author of fiction, Kunha Tale of a Tiger, published by Kindle. Sir has visited across India and countries like England and Bhutan for various academic assignments. Sir is currently working as an assistant director and associate professor at GLA University, Greater Noida campus. Now, I have the honor of inviting our esteemed session chairperson, Dr. Rohit Singh Thomas, sir, to share their valuable thoughts and insights with us. Your wisdom and guidance are truly appreciated and we eagerly look forward to hearing from you. Sir, please come and share your...
A very good afternoon to all of you. I hope I'm audible and you can see me.
Yes, sir.
Right. First of all, I would like to give my sincere thanks to the Lieutenant General V.K. Sharma, sir, and his entire team, to the R.S. Tomar, sir, who is the officiating Vice Chancellor there, and to Dr. Deepika Tomar, who is the officiating head of the department. Along with that, I would like to thank all the members of the organizing committee. I know Pooja personally, so she has been working hard. I know Arif also. All of you are working very hard. So thank you very much for inviting me in this session. Now let's talk about the meaning of VIKSIT Bharat and the role of various business entity into the Vikas of India or development of our country. So our country, to say into the real sense, it is already VIKSIT. It is not a developing country, but when we talk about in the sense of economics, we always refer that our country is developing in nature. Why it is developing in nature? Because the growth rate is increasing because of the demarcation made by the GDP, because the demarcation made by the national income of that particular country. But still, if you see the GDP of India as compared to the other developed we are comparing, like United States of America, Western countries, European countries, like you can say England, or you can say France or Germany, Japan, China. Our country is not very far behind from all these things. But the biggest reason is why we have a larger GDP, because we have a larger population also. So converting this GDP into the per capita income, if I say, so here we are lacking. But why I said that we are already VIKSIT because India is a land of spirituality, and we believe in the coexistence. So, in the mindset of the Viksit Bharat, it is not only the economic development which we are looking for the development of happiness, development of harsh, development of khushi, right? So, this is not only the achievement which has been required, that is the not only the economic achievement which has been required, we also need to have spiritual development. We also need to have the happiness development in our country. Like you see, many of the Scandinavian countries, they have their own parameters of the happiness. Acha, how much time do I have? How much time do I have?
10 to 15 minutes, sir.
Oh, it's a lot of time. 10 to 15 minutes is a lot of time. So if we look into the Scandinavian countries like Denmark, Sweden, Norway, now on what features they are working and how their economy, they are also developed countries. Their economy is different from the United States, China's economy. These countries, these Scandinavian countries, they are focusing upon not only on the economic development, they are focusing upon education, employment, and social security for their own citizens. So you can see that once the people cross the 60 years of age, lot many social security related packages are there. They believe in developing better health practices, health infrastructure, and they believe in developing the education system, making it more immaculate as compared to the other part of the world. So it is not only the business entity which is required to be developed, but also the social entity which is required to be developed. Now let's connect the Viksit Bharat with the business which is being conducted in the context of India. So first of all, we should know what we are good at producing. What we are good at producing, still most of the businesses rely on to the primary sector, agriculture and agriculture related sector. Though the contribution of the agriculture into the growth rate is limited, and the contribution of the services in our country is increased and more, but if we look the people involvement and people engagement, then we will find out that many people or larger amount of the population is engaged into the primary activity, agriculture related activity. So when we talk about the economic development, we are still relying upon to the agriculture and allied industries more, and we can see this in the form of the products and services which actually we export from our own country. So what do we export? We export the most of the agricultural product, an animal related product. We export leather item, gems and jewelries, mining related product. We export tea, we export spices. These are the product actually which we are exporting across the world. Uh, but on the another side, brighter side, if we look into our service sector, what we are exporting software also into the larger quantity and into the bigger amount. Say India is on to the economic development. When it comes about the investments made by the lot of FIIs, foreign institutional investors, lot of FDIs. So recently, you must have seen the Apple has started its operation, its own stores in our own country. They started with their first store into the Mumbai, and now you can see India is a place which is producing largest number of the smartphones, Apple smartphone across the world. We are producing it, we are selling it, but we need to think one more thing, that is it enough that whatever technology which has been transferred by a developed country like USA, is it enough to replicate that technology and produce the product and sell it across the world? Don't you think that we need to produce also our domestic and indigenous technology? So Viksit Bharat also required to have more patents, also required to have more copyrights, also required to have more technological advancement related things. Talking about the agriculture and then service sector and then sciences and then happiness, all these things are correlated and connected with each other, but we cannot avoid the political role the role of the government in the development of our country. From the last 10, 15 years or from the last decade, I can see the kind of transformation made by the current Modi government is great. This transformation actually started with the 1990 with the LPG liberalization, privatization, and globalization, and the role of Manmohan Singh was very significant. But there was a time when India got stuck. Post Modi government, the thought has been given in the development of the infrastructure, which is actually helping us in a good manner, building good relationship with our neighbor, building good relationship with the international countries and across the globe. So it is not only the domestic product which we require to make, it is also the kind of relationship which we share across the world. Now, when we talk about the relationship across the world, in the sense of business, how it is going to help us, how it is going to help us into the sense of business. It depends upon the tie-up, selling and purchase of the technology, selling and purchase of your free factor movement. Factor movement, when I say, like the free movement of our dexterous people, our professors, our doctors, our lawyers. India is known for its intellectual property, but most of the time, these intellectual property, whatever they are doing right here, they are most of the time contributing more into the foreign countries. So there is a brain drain problem is also there. But I will not say that this is a problem right now, because this is how the world grows. This is how the mutual exchange of intellectual property takes place. Uh, with this, I can conclude that in order to have a Viksit Bharat, there are few points which we need to consider. Number one, economic development. Number two, social development. Number three, the political development. And when I say the social development, it also includes the increasing the happiness into the society. And number four, building our own indigenous technology. We should not only be able to produce the domestic product, we should not only be a center where the people are producing their product, but also we should be a center where we are developing the latest technology and selling it across the world. With this note, I wish you all the best for organizing this wonderful international conference, and we can start the session. Carry on. Thank you. Over to you. Anchors, over to you. Hello, anchors, can you hear me? Over to you.
Thank you, sir, for your precious time, efforts, and expertise. And on behalf of Amity University,
Madhya Pradesh, RF Sir, Gitanjali ma'am, and we all students, we would like to wish you a very happy birthday, sir.
Thank you.
Now we will start our presentations.
So first presentation would be of Ms. Apurva Sharma and Dr. Vijay Agrawal.
Very good afternoon to respected chairperson, Dr. Tomar sir, respected dignitaries and all the participants present here. It is my immense pleasure, and I am extending my gratefulness to Amity University for giving me this chance to present this paper, which has been titled as A Study on the Role of Chhattisgarh State in VIKSIT Bharat. My presentation has been divided into 5 parts: introduction, hello, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. So my presentation has been divided into 5 parts, which is introduction, objectives, methodology, suggestions, and conclusions. I'll start my presentation. Developing nation focuses on making the best use of available resources, alternative uses opportunity cost to stimulate economic growth in a country. Currently, on its 78th year of being independent, India is standing strong as an emerging developing nation in the world, and soon it will be counted amongst the developed nation in the world, although we have a long way to go. On the month of December 2023, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji shared a vision of to make Bharat a Viksit Bharat till 2047 on the 100th anniversary of our independence. On the roadmap of the vision for making India a developed nation, the Prime Minister addressed the Viksit Bharat, Viksit Chhattisgarh program, where he said that the existing industries and the upcoming projects in the smart city Raipur, which is the capital of Chhattisgarh, will embark stepping stones in the development of Chhattisgarh. PM announced the upcoming project worth rupees 34,400 crores, which will nurture many sectors such as mainly infrastructures, coal, power, and solar energy. Appreciation on the present project of NTPC in generating electricity, which will be made available to the neighboring states of Chhattisgarh, and establishing solar power plants in the district of Rajnandgaon and Bhilai, so that electricity will be provided to the consumer at least cost and even free of cost by launching PM Surya Ghar free electricity scheme. Apart from these plans, double engine government plan will fulfill the dreams of receiving bonus by poor farmers that have been outstanding for 2 years. There are many schemes such as Mehtari Bandhan Yojana, PM Awas Yojana, Har Ghar Jal Yojana, which have been successfully concluded in the state of Chhattisgarh. Initiative by Chhattisgarh government will lead from VIKSIT Chhattisgarh to VIKSIT Bharat, which has already been included in the budget of 2024 and 25, which will be based on the following principle of Gyan: V for Garib, Y for Yuva, A for Annadata, and N for Nari. In my research paper, I have depicted a detailed information on all of these respected letters. Please go to that. With reference to the objectives of the study, I have taken the following objectives: to know about the concept of Viksit Bharat at Viksit Bharat 2047 in detail and contribution of top states in GSDP of India, to know the present situation of Chhattisgarh with respect to various sectors, to overview the possibilities that Chhattisgarh offers to achieve the goal of developed India, and to look through the various challenges and that Chhattisgarh has to overcome and provide suggestions for the improvement. The methodology I have adopted is the secondary data collection. Also, the paper is based on descriptive study on the role of Chhattisgarh that it will play to achieving the goal of Viksit Bharat. Quantitative data is provided in the form of graphs and charts. For the secondary data collection, it is based on related research paper, journals, Google Scholars, and government released reports and articles. The challenges that the state is facing for reaching the goal of the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 is like the state is already in the debt, which having and facing excessive debt. The data I have given have already been mentioned in the research paper. The excessive debt, racism that the state is facing. We have major amount of the Chhattisgarh is surface based, but most of it is also mountain based. So geographical area is one of the challenges that we are facing. We have been always been identified as a Naxalite state, which is not a good identification for the state. So this Naxalite area thing has been a negative impact on our state. And last is the shortage of skilled human resources because of the lack of education
Last 1
which we
minute.
have on the people.
Yeah, I would request you, anchors, give them a chance on the start. If you have lesser time, 1 minute suddenly saying it will not help us. Actually, give her 2 minutes or 3 minutes so that she can conclude, number one. But if you want to remind her at least 5 minutes before or 2 minutes before, whatever your timing are there, right? And we would like to include, see you from your side, madam. What is your research objective, right? What is your research methodology? And finally, what is your conclusion? These 3 points are important. Please focus on these points. Thank you. Carry on.
Yes, sir. I already have given the objectives of the study, sir. The things that I have concluded from my research paper are that there are many suggestions that I would like to give. That provision should be made for increase in capital expenditure in Chhattisgarh budget, which will increase the GSDP and per capita income. Investment opportunity can be promoted by improving financial inclusion and encouraging entrepreneurship. Organizing a conference every year for investment so that awareness can be spread among the people. Focusing on promoting the implementation of industrial policy and increasing economic benefits to benefiting the public from various government programs and schemes. Encouraging the wave of digital India, promoting technological education and training with modern methods for the youth of the state. and encouraging the business of tourism in the state through launching of special budget for the tourism and making remarkable efforts for historical movements to receive international recognition. Thank you, sir. Here I conclude my presentation on the topic of a study on the role of Chhattisgarh state in VIKSIT Bharat.
Thank you, ma'am. Your presentation was indeed good. I would like to suggest that whenever you make, are you anyhow planning to convert this work into the publication? If you are planning to convert this work into the publication, then you need to go for the intense review of literature, because it is a descriptive paper where you can compare the Chhattisgarh economy with the other state economy. But while you compare the Chhattisgarh economy with the other state economy, you need to take care of that most of the economic parameter, socio-economic parameters should be similar, because we can match the development between the two states only if they are similar on certain parameters, right? So that we can justify our work later on. Thank you very much. But I don't think that racism is a problem in the Chhattisgarh.
Thank you
That
so
is,
much, sir.
I will contrary to, this is my, maybe my
There is
personal.
a lack of harmony between people. There is a lack of harmony and unity that we notice in the state
Apurva,
of
I
Chhattisgarh,
don't
sir.
think it is because of race. I think we are confused here. When we talk about the races is absolutely different thing. Just study about the race. There are 4 different kind of races: Caucasians, Mongoloid, Negroid, and Dravidian. Right. So it is not all
Okay, sir.
about, because all these 4 races are not existing in the Chhattisgarh. Perhaps you are trying to
Okay,
say
sir.
casteism, or
Yes, sir.
you may be,
Casteism. Yeah.
yeah, that is a separate
Yes,
separate
sir.
thing. Perhaps you are trying to say the
Yes, sir.
casteism, or maybe
Yes, sir.
the differences between the tribal and the non-tribal people. That maybe
Yes, sir.
you are forecasting.
Yes, sir.
I've been to Chhattisgarh. It is a
Thank you.
wonderful state. Thank you very much. Next, please.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
All the
Thank
best.
you for your suggestion, sir. Thank you, sir. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Apurva ma'am. Next, we'd like to have the presentation of Dr. Seema Modi and Mr. Yashwardhan Singh.
Ma'am, this is Lakshmi Devi. Am I audible? Ma'am, I made a request so I could present second, ma'am.
Gitanjali ma'am, is there any confusion for the presentation sequence?
No.
Because other presenters are there asking to present right now, like Pasupaliti ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Can
we
I
have
present now?
We have the sequence list with us, and we'll ask the presenters to have their presentations accordingly.
Okay, ma'am. So
Okay.
are you sharing my
Ma'am,
presentation,
sorry, ma'am.
Gitanjali ma'am?
I would respect the track, ma'am, but the thing is, I have exam at very short time, very soon now at 1 o'clock. So can you kindly adjust on my request, ma'am, please, ma'am?
Okay, we understand your problem, ma'am. We'd like to ask apology from Dr. Seema Modi. Can we please have the presentation of Mr. Premnath Krishnamurthy and the ma'am requesting?
Yeah, you can take their presentation
Yes, ma'am.
first.
Yes, ma'am.
After that, we can share the presentations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, can I share the PPT now?
Yes, ma'am, sure, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Is it visible? Ma'am, is this
Yes, ma'am.
okay, ma'am? I'll start.
Continue, ma'am.
Greetings to everyone present here, to the panel members and the fellow paper authors and the presenters. Myself, Lakshmi Devi, and I'm going to present my research paper titled on transforming inventory management with artificial intelligence, deep learning for optimized efficiency. So, the author Krishnamurthy, my professor, and myself, Lakshmi Devi, So our research basically orients on bringing about operation efficiency of a factory for using the data set of 3 consecutive months. So we designed a model accordingly so that the key factors, metrics of operational efficiencies are calculated based on the data set of factory for 3 months. And we are using those data sets in our research to bring about an accuracy on the model and the trends observe the factory's performance, operational performance. So this is the introduction. The inventory management in Indian business is evolving through digital transformation and the sophisticated analytics. So we are using both the operational analysis and the business analytics with the help of artificial intelligence, deep learning in our paper in order to bring about an so the objectives of the study are, in this research, introduces a methodology leveraging fuzzy logic within an artificial intelligence driven framework, the focus model, to assess optimize inventory for 5 key performance metrics such as fill rate, or accuracy rate, and KP accuracy, utilization rate, and supply reliability rate. So using the fuzzy inference system, we are going to collect the data. So in order, it fills these rates, and these rates are gone into consideration various rules in order to bring about an output model value and the interpretation. So this is the methodology. It focuses on each 3 of the month's data, and data pre-processing is done using the focus model, and a fuzzy logic framework setup is done, and using the membership function, whether the value is given a pre-membership training, whether it is a low value, medium value, or the high value. Based on those, the established fuzzy rules are used. So the fuzzy inference system gives an model output along with the fuzzy output. So this is the methodology of our paper, which is included even in these points, where the model is used to calculate the model output for each of the month and how each metrics are increased for each month using a methodology metric calculated for the first beginning the methodology points. So these are the steps included in methodology. First, we use a cloud-based platform, that is the Google Colab. We have coded using the Python, where the data set are imported for the 3 months and the processing is done. And the logic framework is set up with the rule, and we are given the out for the work. So these are the fill rate formulas and accuracy rate formula, KP accuracy, utilization rate, and supply reliability rate formulas. And the weightage given for each of them are 20%. So the total adds up to be 100%. So these are the fuzzy rules and the membership functions that we have set for each.
She is not audible.
Sir, is the slide visible?
No, ma'am.
No,
I
slide
think
is not visible. Maybe some internet problem is there at your side, ma'am.
your bandwidth connection is low, ma'am.
I have actually started sharing my. Now is it visible, sir?
Not yet. I can see you, but not your slide. Don't worry, आ जाएगा. Don't worry, it will come.
Your slides are visible now, ma'am. You can continue.
It is visible, ma'am. Carry on.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So this is the membership functions we have kept. So for example, the fill rate, we have kept a medium, like Frazee said, low, medium, high. For 40 to 60 range, it is low. Medium is for 60 to 85, and till an upward up to 90. So from 90 to 100, it is considered as high. The same is done for each and every 5 rates, metrics, key performance metrics. And these are we designed 8 rules according to the metrics we have taken. So these are the 8 rules. For example, the first rule shows if the fill rate is high and accuracy rate is high, and the supply reliability rate is high, the output deduction will be good. The same is done for 8 different rules. So using these rules, we have coded in Python and Google Colab, and we have deduced these outputs. First, the data aggregation output shows the data calculation for each metrics for each of the months. Next, this is the designed focus model membership function, pre-designed function. This is fuzzy function. Next is this is the graph plotted for the membership function output for each of the metrics, performance metrics, based on the data set and our code. And this is the overall focus model performance output, sir, for the 3 months. You can see for the first month, it is shown as 89.7, next month 90.3, 91. So using this method, our research mainly focuses on using 5 metrics so that using those metrics, operational efficiency of a factory or an industry can be increased based on the data of the previous data. So the lags can be advised and it can be improved. So this is the main motive of our research, sir, and this is the result of our research. This is the findings and the conclusion. It shows the support showcases the artificial intelligence capacity to provide actionable insight for constant advancement, fostering more effective data-informed inventory management system. Thank you, sir.
So would you ask something?
So, present.
One second, madam. I couldn't see the last slide. Where did you conclude?
So is this a findings and conclusion?
Yeah, I want to see the finding.
Yes, sir, this is the findings.
It's not there. I can see thank you only.
I've already moved on, sir. But,
Right. Okay, it was there.
I-
Maybe the internet is slow from your side. Have patience, कोई बात नहीं आ जाएगा. Now you see this graph, that is fuzzy rule evaluation graph, right? I'm on this graph, right? So the graph
sir.
plotted for the focus model performance output in percentage for year. So now what do I try to say, and what I can see that in the month of 1, month of 2, and month of 3, no significant difference in the percentage. Can you see the same thing?
Yes, sir.
89.7, 90,
Yes, sir, I
91.
can see.
So if there is no
Yes, sir.
significant difference in the percentage, then what is the use of this work?
So actually, the main focus is whether it is increasing or not, because the metrics are they may be very low in while showing through the percentage, while calculating the data. Like for example, the stock unit varies from 100 to 50 due to a loss incurred by the factory for the next one. So in that cases, it may change. So according to the units, it changes. The data set we took is a data set which had a decent level factory run. So the significance was a little low compared to the previous one. But we can see the increase. The data set we took, that was parallel decent operations. If taken for
So
some
what
data
I
set
can see,
for
what I
a
can
very
see, what I can see, it is more like descriptive in nature, right? So can we predict? Because when we talk about machine learning, artificial intelligence, that this can we predict on the basis of your work?
Yes, sir. Based on the data, we can even predict. That is the future scope of this paper, sir. So
Okay.
next one is the
Got
the
it.
forecasting of the predictions, sir. For now,
Chaliye.
we are dealing with the historical data. This is descriptive. This is
That's what I said.
the
That's what
future
I
scope
said. This
mainly
is more,
focuses on the
yeah,
predicting.
this is more descriptive
Yes, sir.
based upon the existing work. But can we generalize it? Can we forecast it? Whether there is a school doing all these things? I just wanted to know that. Okay, thank you very much. Next participant. Good work, madam. All the best. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we'd like to have the presentation of Dr. Seema Modi and Mr. Yashwardhan Singh.
Good morning, sir. My name is Yashvardhan, and I want to start my PPT. First, I would like to request my co-author to share the PPT.
Yeah, Gitanjali ma'am, you are sharing the PPT?
Yes, ma'am, we'll share the PPTs.
Okay.
Okay, so my topic is the impact of digitalization on rural entrepreneurship in India. First question is
Is this
why
something
this
like
topic in particular?
Apple?
Am I audible?
Yes, so you are audible. Please go.
Okay, so I believe, I even strongly believe that the way to Viksit Bharat or the developed India by 2047 is rural India because cities right now are under tremendous stresses like of exponential population growth, specifically due to migration, which is generally because of the search of opportunities. The second stress that cities are facing is groundwater depletion. In even in the various reports, it is suggested that by 2030, major cities will be completely deplete will going to completely deplete their groundwater and the third problem they are facing is congestion and of pollution, which are degrading the human capital of this nation. So, therefore, it is my understanding that in order to be developed by 2047, we must tap the hidden potential of rural India. And the best way to do this is by empowering people at source, giving them opportunities, creating new entrepreneurs who could facilitate all this. And in order to facilitate these entrepreneurs, Digital India or the stack played a very important role. Thus, the topic, the impact of digitalization on rural entrepreneurship in India. Basically, I am talking about the rapid digitalization transformation in India has reshaped entrepreneurship with unique impacts on rural areas. Digital tools have become essential in providing access to markets, improving financial inclusion, and enhancing business operations for rural entrepreneurs. Significance of rural entrepreneurship. Rural businesses are the key to inclusive economic growth, addressing local needs and bridging urban rural economic gaps. Study motivation, examination. Examining how digitalization can empower rural entrepreneurs, overcoming the systematic barriers and drive economic transformation. Objective of the study is to assess how digital tools and platforms are transforming rural entrepreneurship, to understand the barriers rural entrepreneurs face in digital adoption, and to offer policy recommendations to strengthen the digital ecosystem for rural businesses. Basically, the data was collected from the secondary sources like government reports, academic studies, and market researches, and World Bank reports and all. Analysis pattern in digital adoption and entrepreneurial growth assessed through synthesized data. In findings, we have seen that e commerce platforms allow rural entrepreneurs to reach national and global customers. And in financial inclusion, digital payments platform like UPI facilitate fast, secure transactions. Access to resources, online platform provide rural entrepreneurs with training, mentorship, and support services. And here the stack or the digital stack or the India stack played a very crucial role. In policy support, initiatives like ENAM, Startup India, Yatra foster entrepreneurial growth in rural regions. Now, the statistical finding shows that there's been a steady rise in the digital payments, which is 10% in 2018 to 50% in 2023.
Mr. Yash, your PPT has stuck on the objective of the study.
Gitanjali
Okay.
ma'am, can you please? Yeah.
Now I can see the findings. Now I can see the findings.
Okay. Next, statistical insights, please. Next slide. Yes. Now, digital literacy rates has also grown up. That is from 2015 to 15% to 45% in 2023. And impact of government scheme was very significant, especially through ENAM, Startup India's, and all these programs. Analysis. Emerging patterns. We can see that digital adoption is increasing but uneven across the regions due to infrastructure and literacy disparities. And in rural entrepreneurs use digital platforms primarily for the basic transactions, while urban counterparts engage in more advanced digital applications. Government role is very effective. Government policies and localized programs have shown significant positive impacts. In conclusion, digitalization offers significant potential to empower rural entrepreneurs and integrate rural India into the national and global economies. With continued policy support, infrastructure development, and targeted intervention, rural entrepreneurship could undergo a transformative digital shift, which is even recognized by the world institutions today. An inclusive digital ecosystem is essential to bridge the rural urban divide, ensure sustainable growth, and economic empowerment in rural India, which will drastically reduce the migration as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yash. Yash, I would like to focus on few things. The statistical model, or I
Sure.
should say the data which you have shown us, it is
Mhm.
just a percentage differences you are showing. So it is
Yes.
a growth rate and all. It should be more intensively done. It can be, see, whatever statistics analysis we do, it should either be project something, or it should able to show the difference between two variables or whatever test you are taking, or it should be able to, that is a third point, it should be able to show the correlation between the parameters or the variable which you are saying. These are the three major things the statistics actually does for us: forecast, correlation, and difference. So I would like to suggest next time onwards that it is not, it should be something advanced in nature. What are you doing? You are faculty somewhere? You're a faculty or a research scholar?
I'm a research scholar.
So even in your research also, I would suggest that make it more intense. Otherwise, the things were good. Thank you very much. Take care. All the
Thank,
best.
thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we'd like to call Ms. Sakshi for a presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Ma'am, please, can you share the PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
My research title is Evaluating the Nexus of Electric Vehicles and Sustainability Insist from a Bibliometrics Analysis. Now we come forward to the introduction. We propose that electric vehicles have environmental advantages over the use of fossil fuels in transportation. Controlling emissions with a local area has benefit effect of air quality and human health in general and especially in large cities. The concept of sustainability encompasses environmental, economic, and social dimensions. It's about ensuring that development needs current needs without compromising the ability of future generations. My study adopts a bibliometrics analysis to explore this nexus comprehensively. Bibliometrics analysis provide a systematic way of examining a vast body of academic literature to uncover pattern, trends, and influential research in the field. Now come to the objectives. The objective of my study is to explore the existing literature and find the gap and future research directions in the field of electric vehicle and sustainability. For achieving the objective, we will set four research questions. First research question is, what is the annual publication trends in EV and sustainability research? Second, what are the top contributors to electric cars and sustainability research? Number third, what are the most prominent scholarly work in the field? And the fourth one is, what are the main research theme in the field? Now come to the methodology. We will use Scopus and Web of Science database for our search string. Our initial search of electric vehicle and sustainability focused on the article, title, abstract, and keywords, yielding 3070 papers from Scopus and 1297 from Web of Science database. To focus on paper relevant to business and management, a domain-based filter business finance, management, and economics was applied to Scopus and Web of Science database, yielding 320 and 34 articles respectively. The research was narrowed to just article, including 225 from Scopus and 33 from Web of Science. The final filter only contained English language paper, and 223 items were retrieved from the Scopus database and 32 from the Web of Science database. After selecting 255 articles, which we need to eliminate duplicate entry at some publication belongs to both database. By deleting duplicate items, the final literature review has 234 articles. For carrying bibliometric analysis, we use R package, R Studio, and the Weaver software. Now come to the findings and conclusion. The study indicate that researchers are being increasing interest in the electric vehicles and sustainability. The year 2022 and 2023 has the largest number of documents with 40 and 53 articles respectively. Virus Leoglu M, Dimerson KM, and Linma B are the most prolific authors with 275 citations. If we talk about the themes of we identify 6 clusters. Cluster 1 represent electric car charging facility, investing in charging batteries and cost-effective charging via solar power generations. Cluster 2 shows how new technology and the economic of commercial and hybrid vehicle reduce CO2 emissions. Cluster 3 focus on how electric vehicle contribute to environmental sustainability. Cluster 4 focuses on encouraging electric cars to minimize greenhouse gas emissions, monitoring the uses of carbon-based secondary batteries that realize toxic gases, and ensuring energy efficiency through extended battery life cycle and improved flat operation technology. Cluster 5 focusing on how to handle the heating issue of climate change by improving the transportation industry in a sustainable way. And the last cluster, cluster 6, emphasized that the transportation business is a component of energy sector. Hence, this cluster focusing on energy policy should foster sustainable mobility using renewable energy resources. The study has both theoretical and practical ramification. If you talk about the limitation of the study is based on solely on published literature and thus may have missed sources such as grey literature and first-hand report from industry and the government. Future research are suggested by taking multiple database and an empirical study was recommended to carry in the future. Thank you.
Sakshi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Actually, good work, but I would like to ask, I have few doubts. Basically, when I see the title of your study, it says the nexus between EVs, that is electronic vehicles, and sustainability. So when we use nexus, nexus is a negative word in itself. EV versus sustainability. So title says that it is a challenge to both these things to work in tandem, work at tandem. Like that means EVs are not good for the sustainability. Number one, this is what your title is actually communicating. But when you are working on it, you are coming up with few cluster. Perhaps you must be adopting some technique to find out those clusters. Like which software tool did you use? Biblioshiny
R
or
Studio, sir.
RStudio? RStudio, yeah, Biblioshiny you must have been used.
Yes, sir.
Right. So I couldn't see those chart and cluster. Those were not there in your presentation. If those were there in your presentation, that would have been the greater one. And secondly, would transition bhi aata hai. There is a transition which shows from which area, how many contributors were there, which author has worked, has the maximum citation. All these things are missing. See, this is a journal study, but it is very difficult to get it published. In order to write a good paper, which is analysis in it or based upon the bibliometric analysis, you need to first of all have an appropriate title. That title should match with your conclusion, methodology, right? And it should also cover about the citation, about the authors, about many other things like ABDC indexing, many other indexes you can use. You have used only two indices, number one Scopus and number two Web of Science,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Though many ABDC A plus publications, they are the part of it. And secondly, to make it more authentic, I would request you to always take the data from the either Q1 if you are considering the Scopus or Q2 or ABDC A plus or B plus, not below that, right? So it will give
Okay,
more
sir.
authenticity your data. लेकिन जो सबसे ज्यादा मुझे दिक्कत आ रही है वो ये है टाइटल मैच नहीं कर रहा है आपके स्टडी के कंक्लूजन के साथ. इसको थोड़ा ध्यान रखिए, आप इंप्रूव करिए, पेपर पब्लिश हो जाएगा आपका. थैंक
Okay,
यू.
sir. Thank you.
नेक्स्ट वन.
Thank you, ma'am. Next presentation of Miss Janu Youth.
How many presentations do we have today in this session?
25, sir.
Okay, so we need to be a bit fast. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Good
I
evening.
request all the presenters to please take care of the time limit. Thank you.
Good evening. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Please carry on.
Good evening, respected Thomas sir and all the other faculty member of Amity University. Myself Janu, doing PhD in Kerala University. Thank you for giving me an opportunity for presenting my topic, empowering rural economy, fostering entrepreneurship among rubber plantation workers for sustainable development. India is the largest producer of natural rubber, yet the worker driving the industry face unstable income and limited growth opportunity. My research focused on empowering rural rubber plantation workers in Kerala through entrepreneurship to achieve sustainable growth and align with India's VIKSIT Bharat 2047 vision. Rubber plantation workers face several challenges: low wage, unstable income, lack of resources, and limited entrepreneurship opportunity. This hampers economic resilience and community growth. The objective of my research topic is empower workers through entrepreneurship, foster diversified income stream, and build economic resilience in rural community. The methodology used was data was collected from primary data using survey of 125 workers in Kottayam district of Kerala using questionnaire. Secondary data was collected from journals, books, and online sources. The sampling method used was convenient sampling. Key tool used in this research is descriptive analysis of workers' demographic and challenges and entrepreneurial interest. Key findings of my research was majority of the respondents were men, aged between 46 to 55. Most of them earned rupees 500 to 1000 on daily basis. Challenges faced by them were economic issue, poor work condition, health problems. Entrepreneurship interests of these workers were local retail and intercropping. Barriers to entrepreneurship was lack of capital, limited knowledge, inadequate training. Attitude towards economic diversification of these respondents were 58% respondent strongly agrees with diversification opportunities. Institutional support needed such as low interest loan and vocational training are the most sought after. Now, my conclusion, recommendations was training program offering vocational training in business management, marketing, and sustainable practices. Access to funding, such as provide microfinance option, low interest loan, grant. Policies and infrastructures, such as improve road, internet, energy access, incentivize rural entrepreneurship. The next is community support. Set up mentorship program and entrepreneurship hub for shared resources. Sustainable practice such as promote intercropping, agroforestry, and ecotourism for diversified income. Now, the conclusion was, entrepreneurship can transform the lives of rubber plantation workers, fostering economic resilience and sustainable growth. Empowering these workers is not just a step toward sustainability, but also toward achieving the VIKSIT Bharat 2047 vision. Thank you.
Yes, madam, your work is good. But what I would suggest that in this study, we are missing the comparison. We are missing the data of the rubber plantation factories or industries, the associated data with the rubber plantation or the industry. We are missing that. And there should be the comparative study wherein you can take the three different types of the rubber factory and industry, and the condition of their worker can be compared. So just a suggestion, if you can go ahead with that, it will be a further good paper, because you should have some content with the help of which you can apply the basic statistics, right? Which is actually missing, because I think few companies you are taking, and it is only a descriptive statistics you are using. How many people are there, who is doing what kind of work, what are the generalistic problem, so nothing new and special is coming out, right?
Yes,
So even into the local relevance, maybe you can identify a way through which you can distinguish between the factories which are going to work for the say extraction of the rubber from the rubber plantation and later on converting it. So
yes.
levels can be made, those levels can be compared, and then the lifestyle of the worker later on can be compared on the based on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Next presentation is of Mr. Demendra Kumar Ravi and Dr. Gayendra Shukla.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am a research scholar of Government DV Girls PG College, Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. My topic is contribution of the electric vehicle sector to the to achieve the goal of VIKSIT Bharat. Introduction. India is a country well known for spirituality, yoga, education, tourism, forestry products, and climate diversity. It is the strength of our country. In a glimpse of our history, our country faces multiple conflicts such as war, kingdom war, attacks, and religious war, political issues, and slavery. When India got freedom, it was very brutal situation for everyone. Everything was mashed up, but thankfully, the situation got controlled. It was passed away, and we are celebrating 77 year of independence. The concept of Viksit Bharat is given by our present government. We need to identify those factors that can help to achieve the goal of Viksit Bharat. That factors are as below. First of all, strengthening INR currency. When we compare the other currencies such as US and UK, Kuwait, Indian currency is weaker. But when we compare to Cambodia and Sri Lanka currency, strength of INR currency is high. The second thing is gold and forex reserve. In gold reserve, India stand fifth position, and in forex reserve, India stand third position. So we need to work on this also. Increasing manufacturing and export will also help to achieve the goal of Viksit Bharat. When we talk about manufacturing, India stand sixth position, but when we talk about export, India stand doesn't come in top 10 countries. Uh, Fourth factor is that decrease in non-renewable energy resources dependency. India is a very populated country, and we use petroleum very high. uh, Electric vehicle, we need to understand that transportation sector sales growth according to the fuel type in chart 1. After analyzing chart 1, we found that the weightage of petroleum is more than from electric vehicle, and this can be shifted by petroleum to electric. In electric vehicle, we need to create
Please come
battery,
to
and that
conclusion. Please come to
okay.
conclusion.
Uh, India is a country that has multiple possibilities to achieve the goal of Viksit Bharat. climate, forestry resources, land, labor, and capital. We need to alter all this together to push manufacturing and startup in India. Multiple electric vehicle companies are doing good work. Make in India, made in India, vocal for local, various government scheme, businesses scheme, brand building, and less dependency on another country for manufacturing will help to create VIKSIT Bharat. Thank you.
Sir, I believe uh, very very scattered. I think you need to work more onto the review of literature of the electronic vehicle, how electronic vehicles are contributing globally and India-wise. And we need to go deeper now. We need to understand that if you go for the carbon footprint or any kind of such kind of changes, if you compare an electric vehicle with the petrol vehicle or a diesel vehicle, then you should be in a situation wherein you with the help of certain data that if it is reducing the carbon printing, then at what level it is reducing the carbon printing. With this, I can say make it more realistic. It is just a kind of, see, what I can feel it is a essay. We should make it more realistic to make it more publishable in the nature so that it can be published. Right, sir? Dharmen, sir?
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Next one, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, Professor Dr. Satish Antony and Dr. Suhani Paivat.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll just share my PPT, ma'am.
Ma'am, you want us to share the slides or you will share by your own?
Ma'am, is it viewing?
No, ma'am. Not yet.
Is it not viewable, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Could
You
you
could present your presentation.
Yeah, I would present it. Could you share the PPT, ma'am?
Okay.
Shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, all the dignitaries. I thank Amity University for giving me this opportunity to speak upon my research through this platform. Myself, Dr. Suhani, along with my co-author, Professor Dr. Satish, present before you the research paper titled Franchising, a Sustainable Business Model. As far as franchising is concerned, it is a business method or a model that is carried out as an agreement between two parties, that is franchisor and the franchisee. Here the franchisor allows the franchisee to use his brand name, trademark, and the all business practices to the franchisee to carry out the business strictly as per the terms and conditions of the agreement. Franchising is one of the business models through which numerous brands are available global, and the brands which are local can be the brands which are local can also be made marketed globally. For any business to be successful, it needs to have continuity and sustainability, which is also the core area of VIKSIT Bharat. The present research aims at evaluating the franchise business as a sustainable model in context to state of Goa. There are total 3 objectives of our research. The first one says to identify determinants of franchisee inclination towards franchise mode of business. Second one, to analyze the influence of these determinants on franchisee satisfaction and the growth of franchise business. And the third objective of our study is to examine the relationship among the identified determinants, franchisee satisfaction, growth of franchise business, and the final variable which we have taken is continuity decision of the franchisor to continue this franchise business, through which we are judging the sustainability of franchise business. Now, to conduct this study, primary data has been collected through structured questionnaires from 238 franchise business units from Goa. These franchise business belongs to various industrial sectors such as food and beverages, automobiles, education, health, and so on. The collected data has been run by using SPSS through factor analysis, regression analysis, and finally mediation analysis. The first factor analysis has been used to identify the determinants of franchisee inclination towards franchise mode of business. Secondly, we have used regression analysis to test the influence of these determinants on franchisee satisfaction and franchise growth of business. Thirdly, the mediation analysis has been used to test the relationship among all these variables and to test the role of mediation of satisfaction and growth between the determinants and the continuity decision of the business. As a first objective was studied, the factor analysis derived total 4 factors that shows the franchisee inclination towards the business model. These factors were perceived brand success, franchisor support, trust in the franchise deal, and franchisor ethics. Now, these 4 factors have been used to test their relationship between franchisee satisfaction and growth of their business. So this was a part of the second objective, which showed that all the 4 factors have a significant influence or significant relationship with franchise satisfaction and the growth of franchise business. And as a part of the third objective, it was observed that franchise satisfaction and growth of franchise business have a positive influence or positive relationship with the business continuity decision of the franchisee. And these 2 variables, that is franchise satisfaction and growth of the business, play a significant mediating role between the determinants, all the 4 determinants, and the business continuity decision of the franchisee. So this was our findings as well as the conclusion of the study, which says that the determinant which are there, the 4 determinants, they have a significant influence with the franchisee satisfaction and growth of the business, which help in justifying the continuity of this business, which is called as a sustainable mode of business. So this is what our study was all about. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good work. But I would like to know that what method you have adopted to find out this mediating role, and at what level this mediating role is actually working. So those tables I couldn't see. There should be certain level at which 2 mediators are affecting the relationship between the dependent variable and independent variable. Dependent variable are of course multiple in nature because they are determined. So can you please tell me?
Yes, sir. I would like to share the papers with you. I would try to do that. 1 second, give me, sir.
Not there into the slide?
Actually, only 4 slides were, 5 slides were allowed. So I
Okay, it's okay. It's okay, ma'am. No issues, let it be. Otherwise, it is a good. No issues. Thank you.
It is all included in the paper which is submitted, sir.
Got the point. I'll see your paper, ma'am. No issues. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Next presentation is of Mr. Vivek Mishra. Mr. Vivek Mishra, please.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah. Please share the screen, ma'am. Hello, thank you so much. I would like to thank you to the Amity University and the panel. Uh, uh, my topic is corporate governance disclosure practices by listed public and unlisted public companies. So it is basically from the corporate governance which is practiced by the listed companies and unlisted public companies. The evolution of the corporate governance has been shaped by various factors, including economic liberalization, regulatory reform, and high-profile corporate scandal, which is going on currently. While listed public companies in India are subject to stringent disclosure requirements set by the SEBI Securities Exchange Board of India, unlisted public companies have different obligations under the Companies Act 2013 because they are not follow the LODR and they are not listing in the market. Corporate governance disclosure practices play a very crucial role in enhancing transparency and accountability in companies. This paper aims to compare the governance disclosure practices between listed public and unlisted public companies to understand the differences, similarities, and underlying reason for these practices. The objective of the study is to examine and compare the corporate governance disclosures practices of the listed public companies and unlisted public companies in India. What the disclosures are there for the listed companies and the unlisted companies, and also to identifying the key areas of the difference disclosure practices between these two companies, like listed public companies and unlisted public companies, and also analyze the impact of regulatory requirement on the disclosure practices, and also to investigate the factor influencing the voluntary disclosure practices of the unlisted companies. There are so many unlisted companies who voluntarily disclose their related party transaction, and there are so many things which is beneficial to the stakeholders. They doing voluntarily, not under the obligation. And to develop the recommendation for improving the corporate governance, what corporate governance practices should be practices in the corporate sector or should be followed. The methodology of the study will be the data collection involved from both primary and secondary sources, including survey, accessing relevant data from the online and offline database sources. After assembling and arranging the data, statistical analysis, including regression model, will quantify the relationship between the public and private companies and differences according to their corporate governance models. And the secondary data of both the categories of the company will be collected from their annual report, which is available in the website and other there, and accounts of the last 5 years. The secondary data will be collected from the annual reports and accounts of the companies under study regulatory filing and company's website for the sample of the private public companies. Statistical tools like mean, standard deviation, coefficient of variation, etc., will be used to analyze the data and set the responses. The finding and conclusion of the study are the SEBI has done a good job for fulfilling its role as a capital market regulator, ensuring the protection of the various stakeholders and raising involvement in capital formation. When necessary, SEBI has taken action also to ensure the honest trading and investor protection. SEBI is essential for the corporate governance, there is no doubt. The level of confidence among the shareholders connected to a company that practices effective corporate governance is significantly higher. Share prices are influenced favorably by the active and independent direction who work to improve the company's reputation on the financial markets. One major factor is that international institution investor consider when selecting a firm to invest for its good corporate governance. There is also an amendment of the clause 49 proposed by the SEBI, creative ways to properly balance statutory and regulatory reform for the expansion of the business and to boost the foreign investment. The rules and regulation are measures that improve shareholders' involvement in decision making and introduce transparency also. So this is a good corporate governance, and the good corporate governance promotes the economic development also. India is booming economies and the world by the protecting not only the management but also the interest of the stakeholders. The measures of corporate governance for controlling internal and external mechanism can be beneficial not only in the regulation but in propelling future growth and progress for the unlisted firm as well. Thank you so much from my side. Actually, there is a time constant.
Sir, I just want to know one thing.
Yes, sir.
There is no data in this study. Matlab, the sample size was not there.
Yes.
Only the statements were there. The sample size were not there. The data you said that we are using or we will be using regression. So that
Yes, sir.
it is not completely done right now, Vivek ji. So there is no data, there is no sample size, there is no regression analysis, there is no analysis picture available, right? So whatever you are saying, I am admitting that it is going to happen. That's what I am trying to say.
Sir, actually, there is a restriction that you have to complete your the PPT only for 5 slides.
That's it. That I respect that, but they must have
And
said that there should be objective, there should be research. That you have written it. The data sample size you have already, but you have not mentioned the number in the sample size. If the number is not there, that means you have used the space, but you have forgot to write down the number.
Yeah.
Right. So I will not buy this. Please, next time, whenever you give the presentation, come up with a sampling plan, sample size, statistical model, 1 or 2 odd PPT on the analysis also, and then the conclusion related to the analysis. Thank you. This is my observation, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for the presentation. Now we will continue with Ms. Sunita Saha. Ms. Sunita, are you there? She is not there with us. We will continue with Ms. Varsha Rajput.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Sir, will you please share the PPT?
You can start.
Good afternoon, Rohit sir, and respected all members. I would like to thank to MIT University give me this opportunity to present my paper. I would like to start. My paper is a study of women entrepreneurial intention in the rural tourism industry in North India. So next slide, please, sir. Sir, introduction. Entrepreneurship procedures through which individuals recognize opportunities, acquire resources, and establish new business. Rural tourism that highlight the lifestyle, cultural art, and heritage of
Shweta
rural
ma'am,
areas.
please come on to the objective, research methodology, and conclusion.
Okay,
These
okay,
three
sir,
things we
sure,
want.
sure. Okay. And the objective of my study is to understand the perspective of women entrepreneurship in rural India, to study the challenges faced by the women entrepreneur in rural areas, to study the intention of women entrepreneur in a tourism industry, the factor that motivate Indian women to undertake the entrepreneurship. Next slide, please, sir. Sir, next slide. Methodology. This study is use a descriptive research methodology to examine women aspiration for entrepreneurship in rural tourism industry in North India, includes MP, Rajasthan, and Himachal Pradesh, conducted using a qualitative and quantitative methods. The selected women involved or interested in tourism related ventures such as homestay, handicrafts, local cuisines, cultural tours, etc. The questionnaires include both close-ended and questions and few open-ended questions to captivate the qualitative insights from 150 to 200 sample size. So next slide. These are some findings and conclusions. The entrepreneurial ambition of women in rural tourism are shaped by the complex mix of personal, social, and economic influence. They are essentials in homestay and traditional craft. Their efforts help in maintaining cultural heritage and greatly enhance the local economies through entrepreneurial ventures. There is a need to improve access to funding for female entrepreneurship. Local government should assist in the promotion of tourism business run by women and provide the training opportunities. Financial independence and cultural pride serve as a significant motivator for women. Factors like limited financial resources and societal expectations pose the challenges to their entrepreneurial development, encouraging community oriented tourism that include women empowerment. Collaboration among the government entities, NGOs, their private sector to support the sustainable entrepreneurship among the women and reduce the obstacles like financial and educational both faced by the rural women. Thank you, sir. I
Okay,
have
thank
done my
you.
PPT, sir.
Thank you, Varsha. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Nothing to ask.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Sir, any valuable comment, sir? There is any
That's it has been common observation. You need to include whatever analysis you are doing. You need
Yes,
to
sir.
put one slide over there. Some tabulation should be there so that I can go deeper into that.
Okay.
Whatever as a presenter you are saying, I have no other option but to admit, right?
Yes.
Because I can't see those tables. I can't see whether the tables are good. I can't judge that whether the table is correlated with the objective or the research methodology is correlated with the objective. Objective is matching with the title. And finally, both these things are matching with the conclusion and findings, right? So I cannot go deeper. So it's fine. It's okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So because of there is some few factors which I work on it only, so that's maybe relate to it. But thank you so much, sir, for your valuable comment.
Thank you, Varsha.
Thank you, ma'am, for the presentation. Now we will continue with Miss Rekha KG. Miss Rekha, are you there?
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Can I share my screen, sir?
Sure, you can share your PPT.
Okay. Is the PowerPoint visible, sir?
No, ma'am, it's not visible right now.
Can you share the slides, sir?
Sure. You can start now.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. The topic is environmental knowledge and its influence on private sphere eco-friendly behavior. So I conducted this study among personal care product users from Kerala. Sir, next slide, please. Environmental knowledge is the knowledge about existing conditions in the environment. And I would like to study if it has any influence on the choices that a personal care product consumer makes. Sir, next slide, please. These are the objectives. I have identified two mediating variables, which is environmental attitude and behavioral intentions of the person. And sir, next slide. So this is the relationship that was theorized, environmental knowledge, which has a direct relationship with the green or eco-friendly behavior of the consumer, also mediated by the two variables, behavioral intentions and environmental attitude. Next slide, sir. So the methodology used was 240 respondents from 3 different districts in Kerala were identified, and data was collected using a questionnaire. It was validated, and the reliability of the questionnaire was also tested. Sir, next slide. So as we, I'm sorry that, sir, can you go back? Um, structural equation modeling was used. I'm sorry because I couldn't show the data. Structural equation modeling was used to identify the direct relationships that were mentioned in the conceptual framework, and indirect relationship or the mediating roles were studied with the help of upper bound and lower bound values, with the help of SPSS. I'm sorry that I couldn't show the table. So the findings, please. The relationships were proved with the help of the smaller set of data that was collected. It still has a scope of conducting a larger study. The psychological variables, as has been studied previously, definitely have a influence on the behavior of a person. These attitude, intention, all these things are a conversion of these psychological variables after getting an awareness and knowledge about these things. The study concluded that these psychological variables directly influence eco-friendly behavior of the consumers. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Rekha, what is your respondent size?
Sir, 240.
How many variables you used in your in order to
Four,
find out the
four,
EFA and CFA?
4 variables were there, sir. Each have 4 item scales.
That means total 16 questions or items were
Question.
there.
Yes, sir. Other than the demographic variables, these were the.
Again, the same issues that I can't comment on that. I can't
Yeah,
see
sir.
the EFA
I'm.
value, CFA value,
Yes, sir. I
how
have.
you find out those clusters. Number one.
Actually, I
Number
have
two,
updated the slides also. I was trying to share it with the group, but I can't.
next time, please do it. Number
Yes, sir.
two, how many, let's see, there are 16 variable. From those
Yes,
variable,
sir.
how many initial variable you have explored using the EFA? What are Kaiser-Meyer-Oaklin value, that is a reliability value or sparsity test, or whatever other rotation type you have used. Many things are
Yeah.
there. We see, why do
Yes.
we ask? Let me complete, ma'am. Why do
Yes.
we ask all these things? Because this is a process through which we improve. I learn from you and you learn from me, right? And later on, we adopt these process in writing the research paper and we get the publication. So therefore, I am asking. So next time, or it is for all of you, when you go there, what a evaluator see, he see the object title, objective, RM, a strong RM. When you're saying statistics has been used, there should be some data, and then the table, and then findings, and then the conclusion. And something new should come out. Something different should come out, right? Okay, Rekha, thank you.
Yes. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we will continue with the next presentation. Dr. Mamta Agrawal.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nidhi Yadav. Sir, my screen is shared or not?
Yes, it's shared. We can see.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nidhi Yadav, research scholar, Department of Commerce, Indira Gandhi University, Mirpur, Rewari. Today, I am here to present my research paper titled Corporate Corporate Governance for Startups, Unlocking Growth and Preventing Early Failures. Startups are the most significant source of.
Madam, come to objective, methodology, and conclusion.
Sorry, sir, because I am suffering from cold, so that's why.
Okay, ma'am, no issues. Just I want to see your objective, your research gap or objective, and your methodology and conclusion.
Yes, sir. The concept of governance is new for the startups. Companies are already follows the corporate governance practices, and there is also a set of rules for them. But the startups are different from the companies. Are companies and the startups are operating in the different ecosystem or environment. So the corporate governance for the companies are not followed by the startups. The existing literature mainly focus on the corporate governance for the companies, but not for the startups. Only few studies have been conducted on the startups. This paper highlight why corporate governance is important for the Indian startups. Research methodology. This paper uses the descriptive research design and is based on the secondary data. The secondary data is collected from the different reports by news and research agencies, interviews collected by different agencies, research articles, and different websites. The case study method is used for in this paper. Fellori, a content website, and Inc. 42 Media are used for the case studies. In this paper, I have used the case studies of 5 failed startups and 2 successful startups which face the corporate governance issues. The failed startups has the Dazo, Rooms Tonight, Zoom, Jumo, Adlift Technology, and Audio.in. The main reasons of the Dazo is cutthroat competition and lack of funding. Rooms Tonight failed due to the lack of funding. Jumo is also failed due to the bad business model or mismanagement of the funds. Adlift Technology failed due to the lack of funding, and Audio.in also failed due to the lack of funding. Successful startups that face the governance issues. Byju's is the most successful startups in the educational sectors, but it faced some governance issues. The issues are they have the neglecting the auditing and accounting practices that break through the trust of the investors. BharatPay is also a successful startups, but recently it is very in the highlighted in the news because the dispute between the co-founder and the board members. These are the case studies. This shows that the corporate governance is very important for the startups. These are the key points why the corporate governance is important for the startup. First is attracting and retaining the investors. Corporate governance helps the startups in attracting the new investors and also maintaining the current investors. Promoting accountability and transparency. Corporate governance promote accountability and transparency in the startups. Long-term sustainability. Corporate governance also maintaining the long-term sustainability of the startup because the startups are the new and innovative firms, and initially startups set their short-term goals, not focusing on the long-term sustainability. Corporate governance practices help them in sustain in the long term. Ethical behavior within the startups. Corporate governance also helps in the whistleblowing practices, also preventing the mismanagement of the funds. That's why the corporate governance is important for the startups. The corporate governance framework for the startups. Corporate governance framework for the companies are not just followed by the startups because they are operating different environment. So the think tank recommends 63 governance practices for the startups under the 10 governance indicators for a good corporate governance. The corporate governance practices are according to the life cycle of the startups. There are 3 stages of their life cycle. First one is early stage, second is the growth stage, and third is the late stage. The think tank recommends that at the early stage, startups must follow the framework regarding the policies and agreements. At this stage, they must clarify their agreements and policies in the written. At the growth stage, follow all the governance practices, accept ESG risk and opportunities. The main governance framework is followed at the growth stage, and at the late stage, where the startups are planning to IPOs, they must follow the ESG practices for the good governance. Now the conclusion. There are many reasons for the startup failure. The main reason of the startup failure are the bad business model, lack of funds, and the poor management. The corporate governance helps the startup to overcome these challenges and increase their survival chances. Successful startups also face some governance issues that reduce the profitability of the startup and create controversy about the startups. Because of this, investor lose trust in the startups, and the startup also face funding issues. Corporate governance helps in better management and the smooth functioning of the startup, ensuring the long-term sustainability of the startups. These are the references. Thank you. This is all about my presentation.
At least, Ms. Yadav, you justified the thing. You used the cases and the primary data. So at least I will say you tried to give the justification to your work. May not be using any statistics, but whatever cases you have gone through, you have mentioned that. Good work.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation. Now we will continue with Mr. Rupak Das.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, can I share the PPT?
Sure, you can share your PPT.
Good afternoon all.
Sir, are you sharing the PPT or we should share the PPT?
You can share because I have facing some problem from my side.
Sorry, sir.
Can you share the PPT because I am
Sure,
facing some problem from my side.
You can start.
Good afternoon all. Good afternoon all. Myself reporter and my topic for today's presentation is empowering agriculture case studies of agribusiness from Bopeta district. Next slide please. Can I go to the objective? Next slide please. My first objective is to find out the challenges and opportunities of agribusiness in the selected area of study. And my second objective is that to suggest measures for promoting agribusiness in the selected area of study. Next slide, please. This is the methodology of my study. Basically, it is a case study method. And the nature of the study is that descriptive as well as analytical in nature. So the concept of agribusiness in Bopeta district of Assam is a new and fresh area of research, since the case study method makes in-depth study of particular unit of investigation and is always a process with the open mind. It bestows upon the researcher a huge wealth of new ideas and new suggestions for further explanatory of the research field. So case study method is adopted for the study. Next slide, please. Selection of case and identification. Before taking up a case study, a researcher has to take some decisions such as which unit has to be taken up for studies, what aspect of what kind of period unit can be studied, what are the situations in which unit exists. Keeping in view the question plainly, the Bopeta district is selected purposefully and it is divided in a development block, and from each block one case is picked up. The universe of the study is the agriculture entrepreneurship of Bopeta district Assam. The present study focuses on the challenges and opportunity faced by the agribusiness in the selected area of study. This is the area of the study. Both primary and secondary data is used for this study. Basically, primary data is collected from the farmers who are agricultural entrepreneurs, and secondary data is collected from Krishi Vigyan Kendra Bopeta District Agriculture Office and Agriculture University of Next slide, please. Now coming to the finding and conclusion, this is some suggested measures for developing agripreneurship in the study area. Firstly, in these studies, the researcher has found that the need of agribusiness association in all the 8 cases, the researcher has found that out of the total 8 cases, the involvement of the association was found in a very limited way. Hence, the agribusiness association is expected in less way. Secondly, risk always goes together with the agripreneurs. To reduce the chances of risk, agribusiness insurance has been introduced. The agripreneurs must adopt schemes for agriculture insurance to have a smooth run in their business. Thirdly, a properly and thoroughly diversified portfolio is a requirement for agripreneurs. Therefore, they should be properly informed about all the various investment opportunities in order to standard a business by lowering overall risk. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. No, previous one. Previous one. Previous one. So one qualified person can handle all the issues required for a business to run smoothly. So agribusiness should include the person in management to do and manage their business in their right earnest. For the purpose of marketing the goods, there is a need of widespread publicity across all the social group as well as in the community. Few agriculture entrepreneurs are well known in their area yet. Agripreneurs in the agriculture must prioritize and concentrate on their local area before moving on. Lastly, agripreneurs must choose the appropriate kind of product to meet the needs of the market in order to survive over the long term. Although depending on how the market is developing, the scenario may occasionally call for adjusting the product mix, color, packaging, etc. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. This is the conclusion. Agribusiness established is not simple. Today's agribusiness can successfully manage a business despite of all life complexity. Agripreneurs now have access to wide range of commercial and social opportunities because of globalization. Taking on risks and responsibility with challenges and rewards is the necessary for being an agripreneur. The opportunity for both financial gain and personal fulfillment are just two of the many reasons people choose to become agripreneurs. This is the end of my conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Rupak. It was a good, nicely presented at least, but I would like to add few things. Whatever cases you are taking, we need to take the data from where you are taking, how you are taking, however you have done it a bit. You have done it a bit. I could see that you developed certain classification of selecting the cases. So certain
Okay, sir.
process was there. But from
Yes,
where
sir.
you have selected is also very important. Because in order to publish a good paper, whatever content we are taking, we should take it from the reputed journal and we
Yes,
should
sir.
take it judiciously. That is the only advice I could give you here. Secondly, the combination of quantitative and qualitative which you have used here, I could
Yes, sir.
see the quantitative part is there, qualitative part is there, but the quantitative part was more missing.
Yes, sir.
So would like to suggest further that if you can add that quantitative aspect also into your work, and then it will give more impact to your work, right? Thank you.
Sir, actually, I have included all these things in my full paper, but due to some restriction in the
Okay, no
PPT
issues.
slide.
Rupak, I'll go through it. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation. Now we will continue with Nina George. Miss Nina George.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you please share this PPT?
You can start now.
Okay. Myself, Meena George, a research scholar under Institute of Management in Government under University of Kerala. And the topic for the presentation is Factors Motivating Senior Entrepreneurship with special reference to Kerala. In the introduction part, with a senior entrepreneur or senior entrepreneurship, in my study, it referred to individuals aged 50 or above who are planning to start a business or currently in the process of starting one or have recently started one. And objectives of the study, the senior entrepreneurship significantly contributes to national development by facilitating job creation and reducing unemployment. So this present study focused on identifying the factors motivating senior individuals to become an entrepreneur, and the methodology I have used. The study was conducted in 3 zones of Kerala. In Kerala, there are 14 districts, and these 14 districts are included in 3 zones, and from each zone, 2 districts were selected. Random techniques was adopted for the selection of study area, and the sample respondents for the study is 373 senior entrepreneurs, and the sample was selected using simple random method by using random table, and the data collection tool that we have used is structured interview schedule. And the results and discussion, one sample t-test was conducted to analyze the influencing factors to become a senior entrepreneur. And I have selected 14 variables to identify, to analyze the motivating factors. The 14 variables are ambition, desire to be independent, previous experience, technical knowledge, good market potential, small investment, economic need, availability of raw material, government concession or subsidy, innovative spirit, ideal time available, social status, knowledge dimension, getting oneself engaged, entrepreneurial environment, and emotional commitment. From the study, it is revealed that the strongest influencing factor was the desire to be independent, and ambition was also a key motivator. Can you please change the slide? Okay. Then technical knowledge and good market potential were also important, though to a lesser extent. Factors like small investment and economic need showed moderate significance, and factors such as availability of raw material and government concession or subsidies were less influential. Ideal time available and emotional commitment were significant negative factors, indicating disagreement or neutral responses. Other factors such as innovative spirit, social status, and the entrepreneurial environment had mixed levels of influence. From this test, it is identified that, or it can be concluded that senior entrepreneurship has a great opportunity in Kerala, and the desire for independence and ambition were the most significant positive factors influencing entrepreneurship, while factors like ideal time, emotional commitment, and government support were less motivating. From this, it indicates that the personal drive and aspirations play a crucial role in the decision to become a senior entrepreneur, whereas external incentives and environmental factors appear to have comparatively less influence. Thank you.
Dr. Nina George.
Yes, sir.
Right, madam, the presentation is good. I
Thank
just
you.
want to know a few things. The factors, how
Yes.
many factors have come out?
14 factors, sir.
14 factors.
Yes,
So what
sir.
is the test you have applied to find out
Simple
those
t-test,
factors?
t-test.
How many variable initially you had?
14 variables, sir.
See, is there any difference between variable and factor? Yeah. See, you
Sorry,
started
sir.
your study with 14 variable,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you from those 14 variable, perhaps which you have find out those variable from the review of literature.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So you
sir.
started study with the 14 variable and you end up in identifying 14 factors. That means your review of literature was very perfect. Then in that case, there was no requirement of doing the t-test.
Okay, factors, sorry, sir. You are asking the motivating factors I have identified in the initial, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, in motivate factors they have identified is, sir, 6 to 7. Then after intensive review of literature, I have I elaborated these factors, and it is 14 variables, sir. I'm sorry, I was little confused.
Okay, so what are those factors?
Initial factors I'm asking. Sorry, you are asking.
No, not 14, but that means you have gone reverse. Initially, you have find out some factors and then you split it into the 14 different variables.
Sir, actually, I have identified some factors, around 6 to 7 factors I have
Okay.
identified. And from that, after identifying these factors and after having review of literature, I have elaborated it to 14 variables.
Then in that particular case, this is construct. This is construct. You started with certain construct. I hope you know
Okay.
the meaning of construct.
Okay,
Construct
sir.
is something in which the variable, actually, if I compile all those variables, they create a construct.
Okay,
So
sir.
perhaps initially you started with a construct and later on you break that construct into the different variable.
Yes,
That is
sir.
what my understanding is.
Yes, sir. I have
Okay.
done like that.
Okay. Thank you, Nina.
Okay.
Good job. Carry on. All
Thank
the
you,
best.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation. Now I will continue with Miss Renugu Devi.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Sir, could you share my PPT?
Sure. You can start the presentation.
Yes, sir. Okay. I'm Renuka Devi from VIKSIT Vellore. Tamil Nadu, India, and I'm a full-time research scholar. My topic is socio-economic conditions of silk handloom weavers. Next slide, sir. Introduction. Agriculture is the nation's primary economic activity. It is followed by handloom weaving. 15% of the country's total fabric production come from weaving sector, and it also produces more than 95% of the handloom fabrics used worldwide. As per fourth handloom census, which it took in the year 2019 to 20, it was estimated that there are around 28.20 looms, which is spread across India, and in which 35.23 lakh workers have been employed directly in this weaving activity. Next slide, sir. Objective. My objective is to study the demographic profile of the handloom weavers in Arani. It is a small town in district of Tiruvannamalai, Tamil Nadu. And to study the socio-economic condition of handloom weavers in Arani, Tiruvannamalai district. My methodology. The nature of the study is descriptive study, and my source of data is I use primary data through questionnaire. My sampling method is convenience sampling, and my sample size is 22 weavers. Sampling area is in Arani, Tiruvannamalai district. Data collection, I use structured questionnaire with target population. Data analysis, I used a percentage analysis. Questionnaire design is a questionnaire design using Likert scale. I use 5-point Likert scale. The findings. My findings is 56% of the respondents' monthly income is between 20,001 to 30,000, and 46% of the respondents' monthly saving is been 5,000 rupees to 7,000 rupees, and 47% of the respondents work between 10 to 12 hours per day, and 46% of the respondents' working days is between 18 to 24 days in a month, and that many of the respondents are female. I covered female weavers. 45% of the respondents belong to the age group of 20 to 30 years, and most of the respondents are married, that is 72%. Conclusion, sir. Conclusion. The socio-economic condition of handloom weavers highlight the significance of culture. It also shows the financial hardships faced by the weavers, and also it shows the changes in the market demands. Also, additional changes includes like a competition from mechanized looms and mill sector, that is power looms, and also rising in the prices of raw material and limited access to market and market information. It also adds up to the struggles faced by the weavers. But nonetheless, the efforts are taken by the government to support the weavers and the non-governmental organization and various other supporting initiatives. It aims to expand the opportunity in the market and also enhances the skills for weavers to update themselves to the current situation and offer a path for revitalizing the handloom sector. Thank you.
Okay, Renika, that was a nice survey. You have done a survey and you have written your report. I could see that. It is effective and useful. There is no question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation. Now we will continue with Dr. Jyoti Jaiswal.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Good afternoon. Sir, please share my PPT. The title of yes, the title of my paper is Breaking Barriers: Women Entrepreneurs at the Road to Business Leadership. I would like to refer that if we are talking about a VIKSIT Bharat, it may be incomplete without talking about the women entrepreneurs. So I have written this research paper and done a research on this paper. Like related to the, I have divided my paper in the 4 concentrates that are related to the women entrepreneurs, business leaderships, gender equality in leaderships, and economic growth and societal changes. The objective of my that I have started the objective of my research is related to finding out, first of all, the identifying the barriers that are I may like that are on the basis of social, financial, structural challenges that related to the all the aspects, these 4 aspects mainly, Then I highlighted the strategies related to all the things related to the innovations, technologies, mentorships, whatever are going on in nowadays. And related to the, I have done case studies related to the examples of women's entrepreneurs on the later on my paper. Evaluated the economic impact that is related to the female, like the female position in nowadays, related to creating a job and the equality we are talking about, and the recommendations for the future pathways related to the policies and the societal changes. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. As the methodology I have used related to this paper, I have gone through the good literature review and the case studies. I have told that related to the real world examples of successful women entrepreneurs, and the qualitative data and the secondary data related to based on the surveys and the women entrepreneurs and the books and the novels. Yes, next slide, please. In between the paper, I have chosen the historical context, also the challenges and the capitals that I have included in my paper, that the challenges related to the social and cultural barriers and the balancing between the families and the business challenges and these things, and the challenges related to the networking when they were doing and work together with the mans and the salary schemes and the yojanas related to the government sectors, like the Mudra Yojana and the Startup India and the Startup India related to the supporting government loans and all, and related to the NGOs, the Seva, the German bank, and the all the things I have mentioned on my research paper, and emerging the trends with the digital entrepreneurships related to the WhatsApp, the women's whatever the new, like the women's were trying on the WhatsApps and the Instagrams, now launching their businesses and doing in hard efforts related to the latest things. Especially I have taken and done the study related to the biocon product of the biocon and the e-commerce and the women's, like the VLCC, the success story of the Vandana Luthra, and the four especially I have gone through the studies of the 4 entrepreneur women's, like the Vandana Luthra and the VLCC products women, and these things I have done. The conclusion and the summary of my paper is related to the women entrepreneurs are the key drivers of economic growth and the societal changes. Despite changes, they are breaking the barriers, reshaping the leaderships in the business. A supportive ecosystem is necessary. Financially inclusion, cultural shifts has been taken place by these type of steps in society and the entrepreneurships and the policy reforms. And the final thought I may concluded related to my paper is related to continued efforts from the governments and the institutions and the society, and the essentials of foster a more inclusive entrepreneur landscapes. I must say at the end of my paper that when all things from the different aspects, this is a very wider, this topic is a very wider, like wider sense. So when all the aspects related to every sector has been come and together, so only the betterment for the women has been worked. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Nice presentation. Next one, please.
Thank you, sir.
Anchors, how many presentations left?
So 6.
Okay.
6 to 7 are left.
Okay, please carry on.
Next presentation is of Mr. Rupesh Kumar Upadhyay. Sir, are you there? Participant. Mr. Rupesh Kumar Upadhyay. Okay, so next we have Ms. Shruti Srivastav and Dr. Shweta Saxena with us.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Give me a minute. I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So first of all, I just like to thank MET University and respected Chairperson Sir Rohit Tomar sir and all dignitaries. I'm very thank you so much for giving me this golden opportunity to present my paper here. So my topic is VIKSIT Bharat, Pathways to a Developed India, Challenges, Opportunities and Strategic Vision. Basically, VIKSIT Bharat is a concept where all Indians are giving their efforts to make our country develop fully. The vision of making VIKSIT Bharat is an aim to elevate its global standing as a developed nation by tremendous growth in the area of agriculture, science, and technology and infrastructure. For making this concept successful, there are so many policies are running like Atmanirbhar Bharat, Startup Yojana, Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao Jan Dhan, PMKVY, and all. By focusing on boosting competitiveness, export, and attracting foreign investment. But there are so many challenges also, and but it's a very great opportunity. These are the objectives. So the main objective of the study is to elevate India's global status, like position and growth in various industrial areas, and to enhance living standard, to boost competitiveness and exports, to address economic challenges, and to leverage emerging opportunities, and to implement strategic reforms. Is the methodology. Actually, it's an conceptual research paper. So I have used secondary data sources by using the platform like Google Scholar, PubMed, and World Bank reports and all literature databases. So these are the findings and conclusions. As India embarks on its journey towards becoming a developed nation, it must navigate a rapidly evolving global landscape that presents both formidable challenges and exciting opportunities. By strategically leveraging its demographic dividend, technological powers, and geopolitical influence, India can chart a course towards inclusive and sustainable development, cementing its position as a key player in the 21st century world order. To realize this vision, India must adopt a comprehensive and integrated approach, one that addresses the multifaceted nature of its development challenges. Through targeted investments in human capital, industrial modernization, industrial development, environmental protection, and good governance, India can harness the synergies between its various developmental priorities, paving the way for a truly Viksit Bharat. Prosperous and technologically advanced is India that serves as a beacon of hope and progress for the global community. Thank you so much. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Shruti. Again, I would suggest that if you do any kind of qualitative research, you ideally nowadays people follow bibliometric analysis, and there are various types of the bibliometric analysis which are available. Like Prisma is one of the model, right?
Yes.
So you should use the correct sequence of that bibliometric analysis if you do it at all.
Sure,
So
sir.
again, I would suggest that there is not anything has to be done in this paper. It needs to be more structured. The title should match with the objective, and then on the basis of that, the relevant review of literature should be searched, and ideally it should be searched from the good indexing agencies like Scopus, Web of Science, ABDC, and then you need to refine those paper and then go ahead with the Prisma or any kind of approach, TMCC, theory, method, statistics, or see, even a bibliometric analysis should come up with certain conclusion, solid conclusion, right? So next time, if you please take care of this thing, this paper can be published. Thank you.
Definitely, sir. I'll follow all the suggestions. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. Next, we have Miss Pooja Tanki.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Pooja Dangi, Assistant Professor in Ravi Shankar College of Pharmacy. Today, I am presenting my paper on overcoming hurdles in Indian pharmaceutical industry, a pathway to a Viksit Bharat, 2047. As we all know, Indian pharmaceutical industries have positioned itself a global leader in generic drug manufacturing and vaccine production. Over 3,000 plus pharma industries in India covers 20% of the global market to export generic medicines. There is a challenges faced by Indian pharmaceutical factors. The challenges are: first is regulatory bottlenecks. Regulatory bottlenecks include complexity in regulatory framework. Indian pharmaceutical industries compromises with multiple layer of regulations, guidelines, and protocols. The Central Drug Standard Control Organization established a Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940. The primary regulatory authority for drug approval and monitoring was to regulate and ensure the drug safety and efficacy. There is a lack of transparency and predictability also. This is another critical issue that lack transparency in regulatory processes. Many companies report inconsistency in criteria used for approvals and communication for regulatory bodies. A survey conducted by Federal Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, in which 60% of pharmaceutical industries consider the regulatory process unpredictable. The unpredictability can deter foreign investment and international firms. In which streamlining approval processes are there, simplifying drug approval timelines, and use of artificial intelligence and digital tools to speed up the approval process, improve harmonization. In this, the Indian aligning regulations with international standards, which can facilitate smoother entry for new drug to the market, potentially reducing approval timings and enhancing the attractiveness of India as a designation for pharmaceutical investment. There are also some major problems also are there. There is an online submission portals. I want to add some recommendation for the improvements. First is digital transformation. In this, implementation of e-governance system for regulatory submission. In this system, it should include clear timelines for each stage of approval process, which can be digitalized. And the Central Drug Standard Control Organization currently manages a complex approval process that is criticized by its lengthy timelines and lack of clarity. There are also e-governance models for regulatory approvals, including digitalization of process related to drug application. There are online submission portals, the centralized online platform where pharmaceutical companies can submit drug applications. The conclusion of my topic is to realize the vision of VIKSIT Bharat 2047, it is imperative to address the existing challenges by streamlining regulatory process and enhancing infrastructure, increase research and development investments, and improving market access. India can position its pharmaceutical industry for sustainable and growth and innovations. So these strategies, interventions will not only benefit the industry, but also enhance healthcare outcome for Indian population. Thank you.
Okay, it was a nice narration of regarding the, I think, the patent, product promotion, procedures. Nicely done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
This is, I think, the first one, first faculty of the pharmaceutical industry. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the presentation of Dhira KR.
Afternoon, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Myself, Dhira Kaya, Research Scholar, Central University of Kerala. So today here I'm going to present the topic impact of social score and gender equality on inclusive growth, moderating role of population. To begin with, the concept of inclusive growth pays attention to the equal distribution of benefits, where it reduces the disadvantages to the most disadvantaged, at the same time benefits everyone. In most of the papers, it is seen that the determinants of inclusive growth is taken as employment inequality and poverty. And most of the previous studies is based on gender disparities, income disparities, social inequalities, resource inequalities, and well-being of the people. And my study, it looks at the relationship between social score and gender equality with inclusive growth through moderating role of population in different countries. Moving towards the objectives of the study, the main objective is to study the impact of gender equality on inclusive growth. The second objective is to study the impact of social score on inclusive growth. And the third objective is to test if population size moderates the relationship between social score and gender equality's impact on inclusive growth. Study conducts a quantitative analysis by using the data of 163 countries for the time period 2000 to 2020. The independent variables are taken as social score and gender equality, for which the data is taken from Bloomberg database and Kaggle database. Population is taken as a moderating variable, and inclusive growth is taken as a dependent variable, which is calculated using the indicators economy, living conditions, equality, and environment in the UNCTAD's Inclusive Growth Index, which is taken from World Bank database. So this is a methodology for my study. Moving on to the analysis. The panel data regression model is used for using the cross section of 163 countries for the time period of 2000 to 2020. And to begin with, the linear relationship between the variables is tested by using fixed effect model as well as random effect model. And by conducting the Hostman test, we came to the conclusion that fixed effect is more consistent. So finally, we concluded that gender equality is a significant and positive predictor for inclusive growth. Social score also has a significant positive impact, but it is less as compared to gender equality. The interaction between gender equality and total population is positive and significant at 10% level of significance, which indicates that under moderating effect of total population size, gender equality leads to higher inclusive growth.
Can I see your table, Dhira?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, fine. It's okay. ठीक है. Fine. So, Dhira, your study, whatever you have done, actually, you have done it systematically. That is the good thing. You have presented it systematically. Though it is a very small and focused study, we can elaborate this work by using the other socioeconomic factors which may put an impact on the dependent variable. Right? Am I correct, Dhira?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure,
Right.
sir.
So
Sure,
I
sir.
would like to suggest you to add more socioeconomic factors or the variables into this study, add more moderators, use some mediating effect also, elaborate it, and you will be in a position to get it published. Secondly, and this relationship which you are suggesting through your model, it must be supported by the strong review of literature, right? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That
sir.
is what I want to say. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. Next, we have Mr. Rupesh Kumar Upadhyay. Sir, are you there? Sir, could you please unmute yourself? Okay, moving to the next we have Mr. Padam Agrawal. Mr. Yash Talwani. Ms. Ekta Amlani and Dr. Preeti Jain.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Can you please share my PPT?
Yes, ma'am, just a minute.
Can I start?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
So good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you, Amity University, for giving me this opportunity to present my paper. So I, Ekta Amlani, student of St. Aloysius College, under the guidance of Ma'am Dr. Preeti Jain, is here to present my paper on the title, A Study on Empowered India, Driving Growth, Sustainability, and Prosperity. So let us understand what is an empowered nation. Next slide, please. So empowered nation, it means self-reliant nation with increased production, employment, and infrastructure. It means giving people the tools, resources, and opportunities so as to improve their life and contribute to country's development. Now, as we know what is a developed nation, so we will directly move on to our objectives of our paper. So ma'am, next slide, please. Next. Next. So the objectives of our paper are to know the recent development status of our country, understanding the role of Indian business in developed nations, to see various government policies to achieve VIKSIT Bharat, understand various challenges which our government is facing in making empowered India, and to state some suggestions for policy makers. Therefore, we have taken secondary data source for our paper, in which we have taken the information from previous researchers, government websites, and others. Next slide, please. Now here you can see this is the table of recent growth status of our country for 2024 as it shows the International Monetary Fund GDP growth projection in percentage of different countries. Starting from the country Germany, the GDP growth rate is 0.9%, followed by the Japan 1.0%, Russia, France, US, and at the last we can see our country India, which is 6.3% GDP growth rate for 2024. So yes, we can see that somehow we are improving, but yet we have to work hard to achieve VIKSIT Bharat. Now this is the role of Indian business in empowered nation. So Indian business plays a key role in making an empowered nation to make manufacturing hub in the world, create employment opportunities for the people, increase foreign investments in our country, good infrastructure in terms of roads, corridors, good economic growth in terms of GDP, and a proper healthcare with various government policies. Next slide, please. Now here we have shown the various government policies for making empowered nation. First is Make in India. Make in India means transforming India into manufacturing hub in the world. The best example of this is that earlier in our country, various government was there and various companies were there like Apple, which was not investing. But presently, the Apple is ready to invest in our country by introducing its plant in Bangalore for its various products. Next is Digital India. Digital India means to transform India into digitally empowered society. As right now we are here, so we can do millions of transactions even without going to a bank. Next, please. Next slide, please. Now here we know Skill India Mission. What is Skill India Mission? It means skilling the workforce of our country so as to create employment opportunities in our country in the present world. Last but not the least is PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. So it was launched on February 15, 2024, which provides subsidy up to 40% of cost of installing solar panels on the roof of the household. The main aim of this is to benefit 1 crore households. Next, please. Now, here are few challenges which our government is facing, like unemployment. Large number of people in our country is still unemployed. Why? Because of less opportunities, less jobs. Next is illiteracy. In some parts of our country today also the people are very illiterate, which is a major challenge. Overpopulation, poverty, and lack of monetary and follow-up action. Next slide, please. Now to overcome challenges, these are the various suggestions for the policymakers. proper funds, proper schemes, proper education facilities, proper infrastructure, and proper monetary and follow-up action. If the government implements such suggestions, then definitely we will achieve VIKSIT Bharat and an empowered nation by 2047. Next slide, please. Now moving towards the conclusion part, I would like to conclude by saying that Empowered India is the process of helping people make their own choices and turn them into actions and outcomes. Nation that has achieved high level of economic development, technological advancement is developed nation. Sustainable development and empowered India both are closely related with each other. Why? So as to make an eco-friendly environment without harming it by 2030, that is sustainable environment, sustainable economy. Now we know that there are various government policies, and even apart from that policies, the government is also implementing certain schemes. Why? So as to make the Viksit Bharat, to make world's largest economy by 2047. So all this is possible only if we are overcoming such challenges. Not only the government, but we, the citizens of our country, also help the government. We can also provide some suggestions for the policy makers so as to overcome the challenges and achieve an empowered nation by 2047. So that's all from my side. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you. Good presentation. Next one, please. Thank you, Ekta and Preeti.
Next, we have Mr. Rupesh Kumar Upadhyay.
How
Yes,
many
ma'am.
presentations are left?
Sir, 2.
Including this or?
Including 3. Including
Okay,
this, we
okay.
have 3 presentations.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Ready. I am Rupesh Kumar Upadhyay.
Okay, sir.
May I start?
Yes, sir, you can.
Good afternoon to all. I am Rupesh Kumar Upadhyay, PhD scholar from Department of Criminology and Forensic Science, Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Central University, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. My presentation title is related to the corporate social responsibility on Indian corporates towards Viksit Bharat. Next slide. Next. Before going to the depth of my study and presentation, I want to just introduce about my paper that this is the CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility, which is the in existence not after the enactment of the Company Act 2013, but still long in India. So this is the concept of to devote devote something which we have and to the society and to the all sectors of the needed person. So in this backdrop, CSR policy is an important and very fruitful initiative for sustainable and equitable economic growth. Some point of time it becomes more tough as even after passing of 75 years of India's independence, it requires long way to become a responsible citizen from an economic citizen. There are some gray area of this policy which need to be addressed to get the visible impact of the policy. Next slide, please. There are only 2 objectives of my study. First, to analyze the problems faced by companies and agencies to implement the CSR projects, and to identify and suggest for companies and regulatory agencies to solve the problems of CSR implementations. Next slide. The paper in descriptive form, basically the mission of Viksit Bharat can be achieved by many initiatives, and CSR is said to be a strong pillar towards develop India. Although all the branches of the economically established developing and denoting the CSR and philanthropy doing so, In this paper, current scenario of CSR implementation in India is studied and contribution of CSR for the VIKSIT Bharat is highlighted. Next slide, please. There are some problems, a lot of problems faced by the companies, like the implementation of corporate social responsibility policy norms in not at all an easy task. This is the very first and very depth problem, that it is not easy to install all these problems. So CSR projects implementation has been shaped by socio-political drivers that has been supported by bridging the micro level and macro level. Both, basically, the organizational and cultural values of the company decide to outcome of CSR initiative. In recent decades, major focus is on economic performance, and due to this, the quality of CSR spending is affected. The investment needs regular monitoring and maintenance of infrastructural supports provided by the various CSR projects, but the beneficiary institutions are not in position to continue the benefits extended through CSR projects. Next slide, please. Some of the big guidelines regarding CSR: lack of measurement systems in CSR policy. There are complexity of the guidelines, no definite clear guidelines and directions has mentioned for the corporates, that how they will implement. And related to this, lack of measurement system, this is the vital problems for quantifying the benefits or outcomes of CSR initiatives by corporate sectors. Measurement is required. Measurement system of CSR initiatives serves meaningful tools to evaluate and monitor the performance of CSR projects. Next slide, please. There are some others
Sir,
problems.
please conclude it in 2 minutes.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Within 1 minute, sir. There are a lot of problems like a lack of participation by society, lack of professional and trained expertise, non-availability of well-organized NGOs, problem of impact assessment, social audit, no transparency in CSR projects. Next slide, please. Conclusion. There are some suggestions. Yes, the growth. No, no, no. Conclusion is okay. Okay, okay. Please come to the conclusion slide. Conclusion is that many companies embraced corporate CSR and made significant progress in this area. Despite the progress made, there are still challenges that need to be addressed. Implementation and monitoring of CSR activities remaining a concern, as ensuring transparency, collaboration between businesses, civil societies, and governments to minimize the impact of CSR initiative and avoid duplication of efforts. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Is the next one? Next one, please.
Next, we have two presentations for the last, Mr. Asad Karim Usmani and Dr. Ashok Sen Gupta, followed by N. Puranik. Do we have Mr. Asad Karim Usmani and Dr. Ashok Sen Gupta with us? Sir, could you please unmute yourself?
Now, it is visible.
Yes, sir, you are visible.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Dr. Ashok Sen Gupta, and my co-author, Dr. Asad Karim Usmani. Our topic is ODB policy entrepreneurship with reference to Uttar Pradesh. My slide is not able to change. How it will?
Sir, we can share the slides if you want.
But I did some changes. How it is possible?
Sir, click on the second slide. Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes.
Introduction is the ODOP policies aim to promote the balanced regional growth in all over the country, and our focus is to how they working on the Uttar Pradesh only, and focus areas are various product to delivering the very first product, maintain the regional development growth, craft, job creation, skill enhancement, and global promotions toward the local people and local enhancement. Objective of our study is to examine the ODOP policy in economic development, assessing the implementation of ODOP in Uttar Pradesh, evaluating the role of ODOP policies and MSME growth. Methodology we out here, the research is descriptive in nature, and all the data is collected from the secondary sources, the various websites and researches. Total number sample is 9 districts, which is available for where we understand how economic growth, entrepreneurship growth is developed through ODP policies. So in Uttar Pradesh, we know that we have a huge population, they are about 204 million population, and each and everywhere, when from north to south or east to west Uttar Pradesh, in a lot of languages, and different type of eating habits, culture, and wearing. So ODOP policies objective to aim the improvement of quality of the product and provide them economic development for local and national level by government support and trainings. These are some examples of the product where we see that we in Varanasi we have silk sarees, Lucknow chikankari embroidery, Saharanpur, Moradabad, Kannauj from Itr and Fragrance, Gorakhpur, Rozabad glassware. Most important that these are products also, these areas are also geographically tagged and they are also patented. This is a list of the till 78 districts which have their different product and known for the different product from Agra to Varanasi. They are having their different product which are under the working under the guidance of ODOP. This is the geographical map. Now the mechanism of entrepreneurship ODOP MSME support system is small as firms and access improvement support mechanisms such as government subsidies, marketing conditions, skill development program. By encouraging cultural heritage tradition, craftsmen and aligned not only the maintaining cultural heritage but also increasing money creation and generating work opportunities. Additionally, the strategies increase MSME competitiveness by granting them access to international market by developing different schemes, hearts, platforms like online platforms, etc. Uttar Pradesh has most MSMEs, estimated 89.99 lakhs MSMEs out of 633.88 lakh MSMEs in India, which is 40% of total. MSMEs in Uttar Pradesh are employed around 165 lakhs people, under which 27 people are lakhs are females, remaining are males. ODOP margin schemes, ODOP training school schemes, there are various schemes under the ODOPs, and every year 5 lakhs people getting self-employment, 90 lakhs units are established, more than 80,000 crores of export are archived. First place in handicraft, food processing, carpet, ready-made garment, and MSME played a vital role for the employment generation across the society. To meet the global goal, to meet policy goal, credit flow and improvement through the initiative for ODOP policies, rapid acceleration of MSME performance, among with the other ODOP schemes are initiated. These are the providing domestic and worldwide market through the event like UP Worldwide Trade Show, investment meets, and other fairs, which are showcases from the from Uttar Pradesh. Sir, these are the some name of the people enterprises which are belongs to the 9 districts. These people having their own entrepreneurship and they are providing the production as well as also employment. and day by day they are growing, and more and more entrepreneurs are adding there. Like the Ravi Prasad banana fiber handicraft. They are
Sir,
production
please
15
wind
kg
up
per
your
day.
lecture in 2 minutes, 3 minutes maybe.
Okay, sir. The findings and conclusions are the early outcomes of OTOP states are promising, and the long-term success of OTOP depend on the participation of local artisans and craftsmen. OTOP policies provide financial assistance to the entrepreneurs and the funding to utilize the capacity. It is also helpful for the timing, procurement of raw material. Entrepreneurs will increase capacity related generation by employment. Schemes is found to have multi-phase positive impact on life of the people, particularly those belongs to rural areas, and engage small entrepreneurs also. Taking after the advantage of OTOP schemes, the majority of enterprises saw a significant increase in productions. Since most business benefited from the program, employment also significantly increased. It emphasizes on the production, employment, and relation of the program. New businesses are studied. Business opportunities in handicraft, metal craft saw profound change both in terms of production and workforce. These are some references this is the end of my presentation.
Good work, sir. Quite exhaustive work. And I could see that. You could have add more statistics into that, but it's a good work. It's a methodological. Done.
आप लोग पीछे आ रहे हैं.
ठीक है, sir. Next one, please, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir.
Thank you for your presentation. So next we have N. Puranik. This would be the last presentation for the day.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello. Can I start?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Narayani Puranik. I am a research scholar from Nagpur, and I am presenting a paper on the topic role of technology in general insurance during pandemic with reference to Nagpur city under the guidance of Dr. Srinivas Manikar. Next slide, please. Here is introduction. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has exposed to individual as well as institution into a financial risk significantly. So this increased the role of general insurance for financial protection and also accelerated the adoption of technology into the general insurance sector. In order to solve various issues like claim processing, issuing policies, providing customer service, technological innovation, various many things. During this period, general insurance have used many techniques such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, Internet of Things were crucial this time. These developments ensured corporate continuity throughout the crisis by facilitating smooth operation, enhancing risk management, and detecting frauds. Government have also moved toward digitalization in this sector. They are planning to launch. Actually, they are about to launch the first phase of Bima Sugam app. It is an app that provides accessibility of various insurance products and convenient. It is very convenient. So they will launch this app in April 2025. So in a nutshell, my study is to investigate the role of technology in general insurance during pandemic with a reference to Nagpur city. Next slide, please. Yeah. Objectives of my study is to examine how technology impacted in a general insurance operation in a Nagpur city during pandemic. To take opinion on how digital technologies such as data analytics, artificial intelligence, online policy issuing, automated claim processing, virtual customer service such as chatbot and all can minimize the operational disturbance. To evaluate how technology has improved customer satisfaction and lowered the cost. To determine what challenges the insurers have when implementing the technology-driven ideas into effect. Next slide, please.
methodology that I used is the combination of both primary and secondary data. Uh, both data are significant for understanding the research. I prepared a Google form questionnaire. I collected the data from 58 general insurance employees company, from the employees of general insurance in an Nagpur city. And some selected employees were interviewed to supplement the result. And secondary data make up the web article, news, and research papers from Google Scholar, ResearchGate, and etc. Next slide, please. Analysis and interpretation. The cross tabulation is prepared to show the relationship between the effectiveness of technology in managing crisis and impact of customer satisfaction. It found out that 44 respondents who found that the technology to be effective in managing crisis have also found customer satisfaction, improved customer satisfaction. So, chi-square test has been conducted to find the association between these two variables. Next slide, please. Using SPSS, this is the result of chi-square test, and the value of chi-square is arrived 11.885 at 2 degree of freedom. P-value is 0.0033%, which is less than 5% significance level. So null hypothesis is rejected, and it can be concluded that there is significant association between effectiveness of technology in managing crisis and impact on customer satisfaction. Next slide, please. So it is concluded that the research observed that the COVID-19 results into rapid implementation of technology in general insurance business. Mobile applications and online portals were widely used, online tools. Usage of technology facilitates remote work and significant reduction in cost. Challenges was also there in adoption of technology, which were addressed by training program and partnership with tech companies. Hence, there is a strong association between technology usage and increase in efficiency and customer satisfaction. Next slide, please. Thank you so much.
Narayani, why have you used the chi-square test in this case?
Because I want to check the association between two variables, that is usage of technology and customer satisfaction.
How these days people are not rarely using the chi-square test. People are using Z-test, right? T-test, regression, many other ways are there. So
Yes,
there may be some specific reason behind it.
No, sir. Actually, I think this test is actually this was my perception to use this test. Can you
It does
please
not
tell
work
me?
onto the perception of an individual, Narayani.
Yeah.
We need to study the assumptions before we use any kind of test. That why are we using it? So there are certain assumptions associated with the chi-square test, and those assumptions must match with the objective and research methodology, which I don't find there. Though the test choice of test is correct, but just I wanted to know that whether you know about this or not. ठीक है, चलिए. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I'd like to ask Honorable Chairperson Dr. Rohit Thomas, sir, if there will be any concluding remarks by his side.
Already given my opening remarks, but I'll take 2 more minutes. I have gone through the presentation of each and every individual. There were a good number of presentation. I think 24 to 25 people have participated in this session and presented their paper. Paper were very good, especially the Gitanjali Dangi madam. Her paper was very insightful. I could tell the name of Rupak Das. His paper was good. I'm not narrating all those titles because many of them I could not write. And again, the Neha George paper was good. Renuka Devi and Dheera paper was good. And last two paper were also very good. Ashok Sen Gupta presented a well-structured paper, and Narayani also did well. My point is, earlier, all of you, there are few observation. Number one, the paper qualified here, which you have taken here, many of them are not associated with the VIKSIT Bharat as a topic, number one. So whenever you participate in any session, you need to know that what is the title of your research, that why are we doing it, and where we are presenting it. So the paper must qualify the title of the conference. A few of the paper were not on those lines. Apart from this, when we write paper, what I find that many of you have not written the research methodology, you have ignored it. In any paper, few things are very important. Number one, the title of the topic, and there should be a strong correlation between the title and the objective. It must be correlated. The title must reflect the objective and objective must qualify the title. Post that, you need to make the necessary hypothesis which give direction to that study. And after that, you need to collect the content. When I say collecting the content, that means you need to collect the literature and you need to go for the thorough review of literature. My dear friends, in social sciences, review of literature plays a very significant role. Why I am saying this? Because statistics may lie. Sometimes we use statistical tool and we manipulate it. And sometimes there is direct manipulation done by the researcher. You should not do it. And sometimes there are certain sampling error or non-sampling error you must have studied. There are certain non-sampling error which are obviously the part of the survey technique, which are there, you cannot avoid it. Therefore, we take 5% level of significance, 1% level of significance to negate those error. Right. So when we apply these statistics, there may be the error automatically inbuilt into the entire process. But when we talk about the review of literature, the review of literature must support our objective and the title. If it is supporting well, the 50% of the job is done. 50% of the job is done, because then you go for the statistical analysis and then you go for the finding and then you can conclude. And while you conclude, you can always refer that in the review. Many of the people, those who have already studied on this area, it is our studies matching with their study. So it will give the concrete touch to your final conclusion, and there will be the chance that the paper is going to be published. While we do the review of literature, nowadays days, many methods and techniques are available. Bibliometric analysis is there. There are many research software like R, BiblioShiny, some of them have used. It is free of cost available. And there are certain statistical packages are also available. You can use them and you can write an impactful paper. Remember, review of literature is very important. Title is very important. Abstract is very important, right? We cannot ignore it. The rest of the things come automatically. Research methodology comes automatically. Conclusion will follow, right? Okay. Thank you very much. It was really a wonderful session. Thank you for the host. I sincerely pay my regard to Lieutenant General V.K. Sharma sir, the Honorable Pro-Chancellor of Amity University, Madhya Pradesh. I pay my regards to Acting Vice Chancellor Sir, R.S. Tomar Sir. I pay my regards to Pro-Vice Chancellor Sir, MP Kaushik Sir, and to Dr. Deepika Tomar, who is officiating head of the department of MT Business School. Not to forget all the HODs. Rajiv Dwivedi ji is a very good friend of mine. Astha Joshi, she is a sister-like to me. So my humble regard to all of them. So thank you very much. Thank you very much to beautiful anchor, those who are there. Thank you for coordination and all these things, right? So we can call it a day now. Can I leave?
No, sir, just wait a minute. Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable experience with us. Now, as we come to the end of this insightful pillar session, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made this event a success. First and foremost, our distinguished speakers and panelists who shared their invaluable insight and expertise. Your contributions have truly enriched our knowledge and inspired new ways of thinking. A big thank you to our organizing committee for their unwavering dedication and hard work behind the scenes, ensuring everything runs smoothly. To our sponsors and partners, we deeply appreciate your support and commitment, which made this event possible. And last but not least, to all attendees, thank you for your active participation and engagement. Your presence and input have made this session meaningful and productive. With that, we conclude our session and look forward to our continued collaboration and future discussion. In addition to this, we will announce our best presenter of track 4 in our volunteer session. Please join it With this, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can I close the session?
Yes, sir. You all can leave the session now. Thank you.
Okay.